Hey guys, GhazzyTV here with another YouTube video. Today we're going to go through the Baranite Thaumaturge, which will be the second video in our little series where I'm going through a bunch of Spectre videos and talking about the pros and cons of what I think about these top tier Spectres. And we're going to get quite a few Spectre videos to go through. So this is just one out of many that will be coming up in the links in the description below. You'll see a link to the hub video, which has all the links to all the videos where I'll talk briefly about all of these Spectres. And there's also a link in that video currently to the Redemption Sentries, which in my opinion have been the best overall choice. So without further ado, we're going to talk about the Baranite Thaumaturge. And the Baranite Thaumaturge, the first thing you got to think about when it comes to these things is that the way you get them is to spawn Baran. Now Baran is the red conqueror, so once you get him onto your atlas, you will have to spawn him somewhere and then do the maps where there are monsters influenced by Baran included in the map. Kill these minions that are called Baranite Thaumaturge, then summon them before those corpses goes away, because they don't stay forever. They only stay for a certain amount of time. I think it's a minute or two. So once you kill the pack, you need to make sure that you don't consume the corpses and summon the specters. And then I would recommend that you head out of the map to your hideout, which will then save your hideout with having those specters or monsters available into that pool of desecrates. And then you can go in and finish the map, go out and then sort your specters out if you want to. So that's the way you achieve them. They have quite a few different approaches of efficiency, and there's a few things that needs to be brought to light for these bastards. So basically, they first have very similar abilities to the Solar Guards. Now, the Solar Guards has a Fireball LMP effect where they shoot a couple of fireball projectiles, which will have an explosive impact, which means they actually can scale with AoE damage as well. And then they also have an AoE spell beam. Now, if you look at Baranite Thaumaturge, they have a lightning projectile spell, which does not have any impact effect or any explosions, but causing a situation where they only have a couple of projectiles shooting away with these projectile spells, but doesn't have any impact or fork or piercing or anything like that, or chain, which allows you to be in a position where these spells are not the best for clearing, but it's okay, but they only hit one target each. The beam they have is very similar to that of Solar Guards, which is very good for clearing, because when they pop that, and usually the entire pack dies, because it's an AoE based ability. And then you have the last one, which is making these specters very good for the sake of bossing. Now, these specters has a thing called Geometry Spell, where they have a Mage Guard Bomb Explode. This one has a 1 second cast time, which makes it not an actual mine, so that this is a spell that can be spell echo supported, allowing you to cast out a shitload of these little bombs on the ground. These bombs on the ground then have a set duration that will then explode. We have been doing a lot of testing where we tried out using less duration to make sure these explosions were happening sooner rather than later, and also scale that damage. This apparently from our testing did not work. So for some reason they're not having a duration tag, but they have a set duration before they explode. Now the problem with these is that if this explosion happens when a boss, for example, is moved out of it, it will not hit the boss, which is very, very annoying. However, when the situations where they do hit the boss, they're just going absolutely crazy and do considerable damage. And the more you invest into the build, the more damage you deal, and it's absolutely crazy how good they can be. So my take on these specters is that their clearing feels very limited. I never really liked the way they were clearing, because first off, their projectile spell is not piercing, chaining, or exploding, or forking, any type of modification, which would then require you to sort something like GMP and chain, or GMP and fork, or GMP and, that kind of approach to make sure that they have decent clearing. But every time they use their AoE spell, it's very, very good. They do kill an entire pack with it, but the problem with this ability is that it has a 8 second cooldown and also a 2.3 second cast time, so it's a little bit so-so. However, when they use their Mage Guard spells, their bombs, or whatever you want to call them, they do that when you're clearing as well, and that means that their attack with the 1 second cast time, they're spreading out bombs on the ground whilst the enemies are hitting you. And since the enemies are hitting you, your damage is not going to be applied until they either cast their next spell, which is slightly delayed, or when these bombs explode. And that takes a couple of seconds. So it makes the build kind of squishy in that sense, where you're kind of waiting for the explosions to happen. So clearing with these, in my opinion, has been absolutely boring, to be honest. But bossing has been absolutely astonishing to view. So that would basically be it. So that's my take on him. Shit clear, really good for bossing, but not a kind of Spectre that I would arguably strive towards getting. I think other choices like Baranite Sisters is even better, or Slave Drivers, or most importantly the Redemption Sentries. Either way, boys, if you like these videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like, and comment down below what you guys think of it. And till next time, stay safe and keep rocking.